Everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to my channel. So this is where I talk about twin flame process. This is going to be a reading for the new moon that is coming at around 6:30 a.m. tomorrow in the UK, and it's in Sagittarius. Only just though. I'm doing this on Saturday the 30th, so we're still in the Scorpio moon. And then it says 6:23 tomorrow, which is also the 1st of December. It will be in Sagittarius when it's exact. So the first thing that they're saying about the new moon in Sagittarius is it's masculine, and it's also the central sun, so it's very much about destiny and what is ordained, they're saying. It's a sign, the Sagittarius is corresponding to the Hierophant in the deck, which is all about, excuse me, relationships. So ordained relationships. They're saying destiny in terms of relationships. It's also about knowledge. It's masculine, so it's kind of like established knowledge. So it's kind of coming from the ego. So it's like book learned knowledge. It's not esoteric. It's not wisdom that comes from above. It's wisdom that comes from earthly means. In Sagittarius, there's a duty to be done, they're saying. So it's a masculine duty that has to be done before there can be any fun. So Sagittarius is quite a light-hearted sign. It's a fire sign. And it does like to kick back and enjoy life, but it's also got a work ethic, so it likes to get its jobs done before it kicks back, basically. This is coming after Scorpio, right? So we're coming into a dark moon through feminine energy. They're saying the feminine is going really low, but because it's only transpiring through Scorpio for a little time, so say from now or from when you wake up on the Saturday. So today it's 11:45 at lunchtime, noon in the UK. So and I felt it since I woke up this morning, which was around 6 a.m. So it's just a little feeling of feeling a little bit tired, sad for no reason, a little bit lacking in energy. Feeling, there's a will. They're saying there is a will, and where there's a will, there's a way. So as a feminine, you might push through this energy that's kind of pulling you down a bit to get some things done. They're saying in a light-hearted way. So it's not going to be you embark on a brand new project of an extensive renovation of anything. But you might do a little bit of a something as you move through Saturday into when the moon becomes exact, once it's changed into Sagittarius. So just for this today, Saturday, and then of course you probably go to sleep Saturday night and you won't feel it at all. So maybe just for the daytime Saturday, you're going to feel a little bit like, things could feel like a bit heavy, like treading through mud, like trying to get anything done. They're saying the fear is always there. So as we come into a new moon, fear will come up. So that's anything in your physical environment where you could be triggered. So it could be, anything from like stains appearing on your walls to a bug in the house, or a hangnail, or a bad back, physical ailments as well, irritating things. It's only a little bit of movement into the moon now, so it's not going to be a lot. If it's anything, it's going to be overridden, they're saying, because we've got this where there's a will, there's a way coming up, which is as we move into Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very driven, and it does always find a way. It's very good at solving problems and solving issues and getting the job done with its healthy work ethic and finding ways around things. It's a very intelligent sign. It's very able to see around corners in terms of what needs to be done, and also to make, put processes in place, protocols in place to make sure that things don't fail. So it's like they're showing me like the house builder in my head, like somebody who can make a plan of a house to be built and see what's coming, and make sure that it's fit for purpose. It was Sagittarius energy. So what's coming through the masculine is the masculine feeling that they have all the tools that they need to complete the job, basically, through what it is that they've learned and that they have come across in their lifetime so far. Very, I know Sagittarius is a fire sign, but in this case, because the moon is a dark moon, so it's ego, so it's in a very earthly way. It's like the masculine saying, "Oh, I know how to do that. That's fine. I can do that." It's a very kind of they're saying like mathematical, logical rationale around what needs to be done without any drama or any fuss in terms of the masculine moving forward. And it's almost like it feels like the feminine is just dropping out as we hit the masculine moon. You may be feeling so tired that you just literally drop out. So maybe you just go to sleep. Maybe you'll be asleep as the moon becomes exact, as it switches to this masculine Sagittarius, getting the job done, is what they're saying. So that's what I'm getting so far. Nothing for the feminine to do, apart from the fear coming up, which is to just manage the fear, basically. So to see it as fear, not as something where you need to like get into. I think the reason they're making us really tired, feminine, is so that you're not able to focus on the fear so strongly. If you see something that you don't like in your physical environment, something that could worry you or make you feel like something's wrong, if you focus on it and you pull towards it, you can go into like a really negative mindset, and you can go into a really almost like panicky feeling or so much worry that things become overwhelming or unbearable. So it feels like we're kind of being taken out of the game a little bit, so that we're not able to be pulled into the fear so strongly, so that we don't become part of that. We don't become part of that fear, so we don't magnify the fear. So there's less magnification of fear. And obviously we're put in place for that, so that it's not in the masculine, so that the masculine, as they come into Sagittarius, can feel no fear in getting the job done and doing what needs to be done from a very logical approach, they're saying, and it's like they're showing me someone measuring something, a piece of wood, like saying where it's got a saw here, and knowing that that's exactly the right place, that something has to be done. So maybe in this moon we come into exactly the right place for the masculine to know what needs to be done, what has to be done, how it's going to be done, and feeling no fuss about doing it, feeling no fear about doing it. Right, let's get some cards out. So we got Four of Wands, which is about homecomings and stability, vibrationally stability. So that's where we're coming into exact, they just said, at this moon. So again, they're just showing me as the feminine kind of slides out of any worry or fear, slides out, falls out of it, that we then have something manifest into form that comes through from a complete lack of fear, a lack of engagement with fear, is what they're saying. The Tower, which is an ending and a huge shift coming in. Three of Swords, they just said crossed by pain, so maybe the fear is going to come in a way that is physically demanding, they're just saying. I had my hand this morning as I was trying to lock the door, and I pulled the key out, and for some reason my knuckles went slamming into the wall opposite, and oh my God, it hurt so badly. So maybe something like that, because if you do something like that sometimes as well, you can be like, that can really trigger you, and it can make you feel like everything is wrong because you've hurt yourself. And maybe also fear comes up in the fact that you have hurt yourself and the fact that you can be hurt, right? So it's something about managing that fear as well, I think. Because when that happened to me this morning, I was just like, it's all right. Don't worry about that. That's all right. You're going to be all right. Inside my head. So it's like this kind of self-talk coming up, which of course, when you're talking inside yourself, it's the feminine to the masculine, telling them there's nothing to worry about, by telling yourself, because it's something that you've been triggered by, that there's nothing to worry about. So that's why the trigger's coming up. If there's a physical flash, they're saying, it's so that you can therefore manage the fear of the masculine. So that will be a shift as well, shifting out of fear. Let's get the next one. Happiness, 9 of Cups. So this is all wishes and dreams fulfilled, and the happiness that's on the way through the elimination of all fear, basically, and the feeling that you can just kind of take the day off, they're saying, let your hair down, be free, and not worry about anything. You might have so many triggers showing themselves around you, like in the 8 of Swords, where she's surrounded by fears and she can't see her way forward because of all the fear that's surrounding her, all the negative thoughts, right? You can be surrounded by them, but to understand that, because we live in a manifested world that manifests through our feelings and thoughts, the response to all those fears that are around you is to completely ignore them and just don't give them any power over your existence, and they will all just evaporate and dissolve, and then you'll be left with nothing to be fearful of. So it's just like that you can't get rid of them, right? Especially in twin flame process, because you're in a push-pull with the masculine, and the masculine is ego, and as we're coming into a new moon, it's going to throw up all the egoic fear in your environment that's coming through your twin flame process. So even if you were to wipe your slate completely clean as a feminine as much as you possibly could, and arrive in your higher self as much of the time as you possibly could, you would still, because you're connected to the masculine energy through somebody else, have their fears manifest around you in your life. And even that can be very triggering, because it can be very debilitating and cause you to feel as though you are forgotten by the universe, because you're having fears manifest when you're feeling fine, right? And then it feels like that's wrong. But right at the end of the process, you're able to understand the absolute power of your own vibration in response to any fear that comes up, which is to completely disengage from what is around you that is showing up fearfully, and not go towards it in any way at all in your mind. So staying completely relaxed and in a state of let go, not giving it a thought, not giving it a second glance, not giving it any attention whatsoever, not ruminating, machinating, not acknowledging, simply smiling at what turns up and letting go, right? So that's what they're saying there in response to the 9 of Cups, which is smiling and letting go. And all what then will show up is everything that comes from smiling and letting go. One more step to go, they're saying as well. So it's like, just ignore the fear that's coming up. Anything little, like something boils over on the stove, something like that. You get a splinter in your foot. This is all fear manifesting. A bit of mould on the bathroom wall. Just laugh and ignore it, or wipe it off and laugh, whatever you. And right, let's have a look in the middle. 5 of Cups, so it's love that remains despite what looks like it's what looks like it's not there, basically. So it's an emotional moon. We've got emotions right in the middle, and it's about what you don't have. So it's about what you don't have and what you have around you that is not resembling what it is that you would ideally have, which is love there in two people behind this person. So something that's passed, appears to have passed, something that you have lamented over here, and then something here that is all around you that appears to be not what you want. So again, it's like triggers maybe, or what appears to be fear. So you've got two choices, right? You've got the fear or the love. This person's not acknowledging either, but they're sad, right? So it's like, look up, just look up. Don't look at either of these. So you don't need to look back. You don't need to look at what's around you. You don't need to look forward. There is nothing in the foreground coming in, right? So just lift up your head and breathe and let go. And just put yourself in a position of comfort in relation to what is all around you by not tapping into it if it's negative, and only tapping into it if it's positive. And if you feel like you can't do much, just don't do much. Just take it easy. Let's go here. 10 of Wands ending energetically. Something coming in. There's two antelopes there, or deers, or stags actually. Stags coming in. So that's love coming in. See, it's a masculine and a feminine as well. So it's an ending energetically that we're going to achieve at this moon when it becomes exact. Eight of Wands, which is connected vibrationally. So we've got that in relation here to what is behind the love that's still alive, basically, but looks like it's dead. Here this person is erring on the side of believing it's dead, right? This is as low, going low in Scorpio, like they're saying, but they're holding their head, so it's just like tired as well. Just like tired of it, just tired basically. In Scorpio. And what is alive there, right, is what you're connected to here in the Eight of Wands. So it's a vibrational connection between you and the somebody that is your twin. And the pain here in the Three of Swords is a wake-up call. It's creation through pain. So like at the beginning of the day today when I hit my hand, it was a wake-up call. It certainly woke me up, and it woke me up to fear, because my first instinct was to moan and complain about the pain that I was in, and was to feel like therefore everything was wrong and nothing would be right. And it almost triggered, well, no, it didn't almost. It had the potential, there's always potential, to be triggered into like a spiral downward, into like the woe is me of everything's wrong, right? So as we leave Scorpio and we receive the triggering, that's the fear, that is the potential to be spiraled downwards into everything is wrong. Here in the energetic connection, the vibrational connection between the two twins, we do not arrive at that. We do not arrive at that outcome. It's going nowhere, right? It's going nowhere at the end of Scorpio. We're not going downwards into that woe is me, everything is wrong position. It's going into the vibration so it can be responded to on the other end by the masculine. So the trigger goes into the vibration, right? And then it's going to rebound into Sagittarius as the masculine, stepping up to get the job done. It's a completely change of direction. It's like this moon, right, as we go from Scorpio into Sagittarius, it's like you're driving a car slowly down a a country lane, feeling like you're never going to leave this road and that everything looks the same. And yeah, it's quite like, it's a little bit airy and calm, they're saying. It's a little bit kind of, well, even eerie and calm. It's a little bit like everything is just Stepford, Stepford life, right? It's all the same all the time. And then all of a sudden, it's like something gets hold of the wheel and the car turns and suddenly it's racing down another road and you didn't expect it to go in that direction. Something just takes over at Sagittarius that is not you. So it's almost like you're rolling down this road, Scorpio, the feminine in Scorpio, rolling down this road, almost like you're not even aware of where you're going or what you're doing, because you're feeling so like tired and out of it that you're not even, you're just driving on autopilot. And you're like, well, it's always going to just be like this. So I can just doze off behind the wheel because it's never going to change. And then all of a sudden it's like a huge wake up call as the car swerves down a completely new road. All right. So that's what they're saying. There's a great big handover coming as we hit Sag tomorrow morning. Shift. And home here, right? So it's like a coming home energy as well. And let's go here. And this is the end of the road, basically. And then we got these stags. It's like deers in the headlight, right? It's like deers coming along the road and the car swerves. It's like love comes along and the car swerves onto a different road to accept love, basically. Let's go here. Ace of Wands, which is a huge shift as well from point of attraction. So twin flames connected vibrationally. So whatever it is you're looking like it's here for from an egoic perspective, me, that person and me, the love in the physical life, the love that will fulfill me emotionally, the love that will cure all the ills of the ego and the terror and the worry and the fear, that I'll be alone forever and that I'm forgotten, right? What it's all about, really, is the magnification of the polarity that brings you back together vibrationally through point of attraction, right? So where they're saying it's like as we slip through Scorpio, it's a huge let go, really, but it's not one of those let goes where you're in the water and you're madly trying to like stay afloat and because you feel like you're drowning. It's the let go where you're basically just floating under the surface and falling asleep. And then suddenly a huge intake of breath as we rise up again. So we're going to find this like vibration that is a handover point between the two twins. So the feminine in their let go, they're slipping below the surface. Spiritual death, right? There's a spiritual death coming in Scorpio for the feminine, where you just let go completely. And at that moment, it's like you float under the surface and the huge great white shark comes along and scoops you up and jumps out of the sea with you in their mouth, and you wake up again and everything is different. So, from point of attraction, shift from point of attraction, because the more you let go like that, which is, so if you've got like several hundred things or one thing, it doesn't matter how many, it's how it affects you, that are manifesting around you looking like fear, where you would, if in response to that fear, through an egoic template, you would force yourself to stay awake and deal with the fear, because you've got to deal with the fear, right? The ego always says you've got to look at that fear. You've got to deal with it now, otherwise it's going to get worse. And then what are you going to do, right? You won't be able to do this, you won't be able to do that, because that's doing this and this, right? So the fear gets hold of you and it makes you like almost like you become mesmerized by the fear and your eyes are popping out your head and you can't sleep and you can't rest and you can't relax, right? So this is the opposite. This is a fear around you, whatever it is, and you going, oh, to hell with it. and I'm going to have a nap. It's as simple as that, right? I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm just going to relax and not worry about it, because it's all going to turn out right. It's all going to turn out right, because why wouldn't it? Because I'm here to have everything turn out right, which is the acceptance of the acknowledgement of everything arises through your point of attraction, your vibrational point of attraction, which is not giving a flying fuck about anything that's showing up as fear around you and telling you to lose sleep and worry about it. That's what they're saying, right? Which is this, where it all starts, with the one that you're separated from. Happiness despite that, maybe knowing it's coming back someday, and the ending because of that here. Let me just check this is running and that you can see the cards. I know you can't see them very well, but it's about as best as I can do. Okay, last one. What we got here then? Do you have a guessing game? Anyone want to have a guess? No. Okay. Let's have a look. Ten of Swords, ending in the mind. So I've got the ending of the fear coming. Around the home, perhaps. So this is, and also about what's coming home and what you're connected to vibrationally. An ending of the fear, that's the outcome there. Right? This is just for this moon, remember. So this moon's outcome is the ending of the fear. And underlying, what it's all about, emotions, Seven of Cups. So it's all about healing emotions, basically. It's about healing fear. When the masculine's fear is healed, the masculine comes back. And the masculine's healing of fear corresponds to the feminine's disengagement with fear. Let's go one more on all of these. Five of Cups. Ego crosses the moon, right? So we've got fear, that basically just what could be fear again coming up. Challenge to the ego, basically. How are you going to engage at this moon? Are you going to let it take you away from your peace and calm and happiness? Or are you going to just kick back and relax, is what they're saying. And then underlying on the emotions, the physical standing still, physical feminine standing still. So that's just like pootling around your house, basically, humming around, just like nonchalantly getting on with the day and not letting anything get to you, basically. Grounded, thoroughly grounded, not letting the worries get hold. I just said elementary, I don't know what they mean by that. But it's like elementary, dear Watson. It's like just, it's how it should be, right? It's just like somebody that doesn't get triggered. That's what it is. It's somebody who doesn't get triggered for the feminine at this moon. That's who you are. And if you're somebody that doesn't get triggered, then your masculine is also somebody who doesn't get triggered, right? Four of Wands, rest and relax. Four of Swords. So the mind's having a day off from all the worry and the fear. Ten of Swords, the ending in the mind. Unguided, Page of Wands. So as you don't think and use your mind, you are allowing the vibration to take control of what it is that's coming towards you into your life and about to manifest. The worry and the fear disables manifestation of what is meant to be, because it just interferes with it. It's like not being able to tune a radio in to the right frequency. The worry and the fear means that you can't, it's like a crackly, with a voice that's breaking up in the background. Whereas if you're not fearing and you're just relaxing and staying stable and staying grounded because you're relaxing, then you're just taking your hands off the wheel. And it means that your guidance is able to take you, not just you, but take you both where you need to go. So for the feminine to have her hands off the wheel means that the masculine's also got their hands off the wheel, and the vibration can manifest what it is that is true between you both. The love that's true. That's the whole reason for all of it in the first place. Three of Swords and change and Five of Wands, and this is lots of this is things that kick off, you know. This is like this rapping your knuckles really hard against the wall, or tripping up as you're walking along the road, or, you know, this is what this is. It's chaos. And it's just, and it's irascible, and it's irritable, and it's little triggers, right? Pain through triggering. Eight of Wands, connected vibrationally. Eight of Pentacles, connected physically. So those triggers, the meaning of the triggers, the reason for the triggers is to clear the trigger, basically. So you've got one last trigger. We've got one main trigger that you're dealing with, right? Which is the masculine's trigger every time they think about reconnecting with you. And their ego flies off the handle, and it says, no, you can't do that, it will be too painful. That's too much of a trigger, I can't do that. I'll lose it, right? So all the little triggers clear eventually through to just one last trigger, which is that trigger. And as we go into the Sagittarius, which is absolutely competent, the Hierophant representative of Sagittarius is the most competent man in the deck. Yes, he's book learned, but he's very studious and devout in his learning. You know, he reads all the page, and he reads all the notes at the back, and all the asterisks down the bottom and everything. He's very, very, very thorough in his knowledge, right? So as we come into that Sagittarius, what goes through the vibration and manifests into the physical is a thoroughness in terms of the masculine reconciling with the truth. That's what they just said. Reconciling with the truth. Which is what they need to do. That's the truth. What do you need to do? You need to go back to the person that you love. There isn't another. That's all there is to do. At the end of the day, what else is there that you can do? There isn't another route through. This is where the guidance takes the wheel and swerves the car down this road, basically. The Tower, and we've got Page of Swords, which is message. So, hands off the wheel. Maybe that's going to be like, before they know it, they're texting you. Before they've even thought to do it, they're texting you. As you relax through the Scorpio and you let go, they let go, and it's like automatic writing, you know, as their guidance comes through. So maybe they don't even know what they're doing as they do it, right? Shift, Tower, message. Ace of Wands, it's coming through vibrational self. Eight of Swords, it's coming through the fear, right? And this is held back from the fear, like they said in the beginning. It's not able to tap into the fear, basically, at this moon. Not, and then they just said it again, where there's a will, there's a way. Sagittarius is all about willpower. They've got really strong willpower. Sagittarians have a very, very strong connection to their point of attraction. They plough through any unforeseen circumstances to get exactly what they want. That's what Sagittarians do. They are very, very, very proficient at mind over matter, in using their determination of I will have that because I need that, without having to work too hard at the ins and outs of what it's going to take. They're not filled with self-doubt. basically. They don't have a lot of self-doubt. They see it, they want it, they have it. So, and they don't let anything get in their way. Unless it's their own self, and then they eventually get over that at some point because they just get sick and tired of their own self getting in the way of it because they want it so bad. So that's what we're getting up against with the Sagittarian moon, is that determination. 9 of Cups, 2 of Cups. They just said fully healed in my head. So there we have it, right? So we've got 2 twins, fully healed. What's left after the 9 is the 10 of Cups, which is the last. It's the last trigger. It's the last thing. And then 10 of Wands here. They just said Spartacus, who was a warrior, right? Who was a gladiator. So I don't know much about Spartacus. Didn't he fight really, really hard for his freedom? I think so. There, 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, down but not out. So that's Spartacus, right? Made a comeback, did he? I think he made a comeback. He was all bets were off, right? And they said he couldn't. He was outnumbered or something, right? He was in for the kill. He was out for the count. I don't know. All I can see is Kirk Douglas in my head. Yeah, so anyway, the wounded warrior, 9, 10. 9 of Wands, 10 of Wands. So it's the end of the masculine process. And they just said life, and they just said health. So back in, and it all starts again, right? They've gone as low as they can go. So corresponding to the Scorpio energy and the feminine going really low, just really lazy. It's just really a lack of energy. It's just like, it doesn't feel like harsh or worrying or anything. It just feels like, very, like lying down kind of an energy in Scorpio. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back next week with the monthlies. I was going to do them, honestly. I'm feeling so whacked out. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that until after the moon. Lots of love. Take care. If you want to get a personal reading, of course, you can find out how to do that in the description box below. Bye.